The world is in a state of political and economic flux. It is facing a slew of wicked problems: poverty, environmental sustainability, crumbling infrastructure, rising healthcare costs, problems that are challenging, globally interrelated, and complex. The need for innovation and developing solutions to these problems is greater than ever.
A great change maker or public problem solver is someone who brings his or her drive and talent, both are important, to solving issues of public importance. It's also someone who can envision new possibilities, who can challenge existing assumptions, and who can translate ideas into action.
Colleges and universities will be responsible for turning out a new generation of leaders who address these challenges head-on. As a top-ranked professional graduate school of public service, NYU Wagner provides students the intellectual frameworks, practical experiences, and skills they need to enter careers that focus on solving the world's most pressing problems.
Students choose NYU Wagner because of the way we connect theory and practice, and also because we help them create new possibilities for themselves and for the world. Our location in New York City is critical to what we offer students because they get to explore internships, part-time and full-time jobs, engagement with professionals in any possible role that a student wants to explore.
Beginning with a commitment to developing solutions that maximize equality and access, and with an eye on the wider public good, NYU Wagner faculty prepares its students to be leaders of change.
NYU Wagner particularly distinctive is its interdisciplinary nature. Now, every school says they're interdisciplinary in the sense that they have a lot of different disciplines, but only Wagner has this feature in my experience. When I leave my office, I don't encounter a bunch of fellow political scientists trained the way I was trained, teaching the same things I do, talking the same way I do. Instead, I encounter anthropologists, economists, doctors, lawyers, every discipline imaginable right sitting around me so that the conversations I have are themselves distinctive, and I teach better and research better as a result. My students are better prepared because I bring all these different perspectives into one classroom. That's distinctive about NYU Wagner.
NYU Wagner understands that in public service, working across boundaries of difference is a key skill, so it teaches students to move beyond role and sector to produce results that matter. One of its stated core values is the interesting ideas are at the intersection.
When we think about identifying solutions to the most pressing problems of the day, whether they're problems related to the economy or education or the environment, we believe strongly that we have to look across traditional boundaries, boundaries of organizations, of specializations, or sometimes even across international communities to find solutions that are that much more meaningful.
We want to make sure the students understand how government works, how the nonprofit sector works, and how communities come alive. You do this by breaking down the barriers between theory and practice, by evaporating the distinction between ideas and the day-to-day life of people. What we do here is to open the classroom to the experience of living in big cities, to the way in which we govern, the way in which we provide vital services. You do that by not separating ideas from action, by not separating theory from practice, but by combining them.
The capstone program at NYU Wagner is my favorite feature of our program. Teams of students, usually 75 or 80 teams each semester, work with an actual client, a nonprofit or a government organization somewhere in New York or around the world, to develop actual client-based programs on issues of real importance. So, for example, the government of Jordan needs help with a water project, or a New York City nonprofit that works with at-risk kids needs to figure out whether a new program can be evaluated properly. This client team of students will work under a professor's direction to deliver a real, valuable product, beneficial to the client and beneficial to the students as part of their learning at Wagner.
Our capstone project had an impact because it will be used as a stepping stone towards eradicating malaria in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly Cameroon, which is where I'm from. Our project was designed to study the perception that fever is malaria, which is prevalent in Cameroon. And we were tasked to come up with messages that will change the behavior towards seeking treatment for malaria.
NYU Wagner is home to research and policy centers that focus on strengthening public policy and public service nationally and around the world. These innovative and multidisciplinary centers work with academic, nonprofit, and government organizations to generate new approaches to the most pressing urban problems.
I'd like to think that some of my work has had an impact through challenging and testing the assumptions that people hold about social and economic issues. One example is the work that I've done with Amy Schwartz and other NYU colleagues about the effect of subsidized housing on surrounding communities. Many people believe that when you build subsidized housing, it reduces the value of surrounding properties, but in fact our work in New York City suggests just the opposite.
Students come to NYU Wagner to put their idealism to work. As executive director of the Bowery Residence Committee, NYU Wagner alumnus Muzzy Rosenblatt has helped thousands of homeless men and women overcome adversity and dependence.
Lots of places teach people the subject matter. At NYU Wagner, students work together with some of the best minds in one of the greatest cities on some of the most challenging issues of today, working with policymakers, politicians, the best academic minds to solve hands-on and work hands-on on some of the most compelling problems of the day was both inspiring academically for me as a student, but also propelled me with a passion to pursue this as a career, to which I continue today.
NYU Wagner is a top-ranked graduate school of public service where leaders and civic influentials turn to develop solutions to meet the world's most vexing problems. Its faculty reframe issues, its students emerge prepared to lead change, its projects and partnerships advance innovation and global thinking. To learn more about the Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service at NYU, visit wagner.nyu.edu and transform your personal commitment into public leadership.